Hello, my love, and welcome back to another episode of the Queen of Pep Talks podcast. Happy Monday. You guys, we have to stop and pause for a second. We are celebrating the 200th episode of the Queen of Pep Talks podcast. The 200th episode. I literally cannot contain my excitement. The podcast has surpassed some really big goals this week. And I'm currently recording this on Friday before you will hear this episode, but I will be celebrating those soon enough, so keep your eye out. I'm just so proud of what we are creating here on the Queen of Pep Talks podcast, but most importantly, I am just so freaking grateful for you because this podcast would not be what it is without you, the listener. So I just want to let you know how much I love and appreciate you for being here. I read every single review that you guys are leaving on the podcast, and it means so much to me. If you have not already left a rating and review, now would be a beautiful time to pause this episode and go do that. It is so beneficial for me, so helpful for me, and it just means the absolute world. This is a free platform where I pour my heart and soul 5 episodes a week into this for you. I don't have ads on the podcast. There are no sponsors of the podcast. This is something that I do completely for free because I love and care about you. So your ratings and reviews are a beautiful way for you to give back if the content that I share here on the Queen of Pep Talks podcast benefits you. There is also exclusive Pep Talks with the Queen if you desire to support me and the show. $7 a month, you get bonus episodes every month, and every other month we do hot seat coaching. In December, we are doing something really fun. We are doing a 2023 goal planning workshop. So we're all going to get together on Zoom in December, and I'm going to help you set and learn how to achieve your goals in the new year. So amazing. I am so excited. And I'm also very hyped for today's podcast episode. I'm going to be sharing with you 3 mindset shifts that have changed my life. If you've been in any of the kind of like journey to hero masterclass with me or journey to a million masterclass or really any masterclass that I have done, what I do inside of those is I teach a lot of the lessons and perspectives and mindset shifts that have shaped my life to this point, things that have gotten me to this point where I am. And so often people will ask me like, what is the number one thing? Like, what is the number one thing that has helped you change your life? And I'm like, well, it's really hard to just pick one thing because it really is in life. Creating massive success isn't normally just one thing. It's the accumulation of all of the smaller, more micro things that we do on a regular basis that help us create the success that we want. But as I was writing this post for Instagram the other day, I was thinking about, I want to share some of the most impactful mindset shifts that I have created in my life that have really led me to this point. And the thing about mindset is it's hard to say like, oh, these are the 3 mindset shifts that help me lose weight, or these are the 3 mindset shifts that help me start my business, or these are the 3 mindset shifts that help me make $1 million, or these are the 3 mindset shifts that help me become debt free. Like, they matter in every single thing that we do because our mindset is such a powerful tool and it really does leak into every single thing that we do. So these are 3 mindset shifts that have changed every part of my life. I think that's what we'll title this episode because these 3 mindset shifts really have changed every single part of my life. And today I'm going to share them with you. And I hope that you will take these mindset shifts and apply them in your life because if you do, along with doing many other things, you will start to see the massive success that you are craving, whether that's in your weight loss journey or in your finances or in your business or in your career, whatever it is. Mindset will help you get where it is that you want to be. It's cool to know how to do the things, but the thing is, when you know how to do things, you'll still often stand in your own way until you learn how to master your mind. So mindset shift number 1 that has helped me create the life that I have right now is understanding that the timeline you create of when things are supposed to happen is not real. The timeline that you have created about how quickly you are supposed to achieve what it is that you want in your life, it is not real. It is a facade. It is something that you have created. And this is a really powerful mindset shift for you to understand that there is actually no timeline. There is actually no rush. Because do you know what happens when you stop rushing to get somewhere? You learn to start being happy in the moment, number 1. And number 2, you take approaches that are sustainable and maintainable over the long term. The problem with having this timeline of when we think we're supposed to achieve fill in the blank is we start rushing through our lives. We're like, well, I just can't wait for this week to be over, this month to be over, this year to be over so I can be further and closer to where it is that I want to be. Do you really want to waste your life away while you're trying to get somewhere that you think you want to be? The only time that I believe we really rush in trying to get somewhere is when we believe that getting there will bring us happiness. And one of the next things that I'm going to share, we're going to talk about happiness, but you have to let go of the timeline that you have created, because timelines really just create unrealistic expectations for you, unsustainable approaches, and then you end up feeling like crap on your way to getting what it is that you want. These precious moments that you're living in your life, they matter so much. And I want to share something that I went through last summer. So we're in 2022 right now. In the summer of 2021, I was at a point in my business where I was making 50, 60K months. And I believed that in order to feel successful, in order to quote unquote make it, in order to be happy, I had to start making 6-figure cash months, so 100K plus per month. And I started becoming obsessed with getting there. And I'm not proud of this. This is something that if I could go back and redo it, I would, but it taught me a lot. I had this idea of how quickly I was supposed to get there. And what I found was every day I was waking up wanting to just be at the end of the month to see if I would make it. I was wishing away the precious moments of my life that were happening because I was trying to hurry up and get somewhere in the future. Do not miss out on your life that is happening right now, because what I can promise you is that so much of what you're living right now are things that you once wanted so badly. Are you going to miss out on the gratitude and appreciation of the dream life that you have already created for yourself because you're so busy thinking that you need to hurry up and get somewhere else to live the happy and fulfilling life that you want? No, do not wish away the current precious moments of your life in hopes that you can hurry up and get somewhere else. Make sure that whatever you're doing to create the change that you want for yourself is taking an approach that is sustainable and maintainable so that you can get to the place where you think you want to be and achieve it. But the guarantee is when you get there, there's probably going to be a what's next. So stop rushing through your life. Remove the idea of there's an expectation of how quickly you're supposed to achieve what you want, because you don't see results overnight. Things do not change overnight. It takes time, discipline, consistency. It takes you showing up even when you don't feel like doing certain things. And if every time we don't see the results as quickly as we want them, we quit on ourselves, we're never going to get there. PSA, quitting on yourself does not help you get there more quickly. So if every time you're frustrated that you're not there yet, don't quit on yourself, just keep going, because the only way that you will eventually get there is by continuing to show up and do what it takes to get there. But the timeline that you have created, remove that, because the pressure that comes with it is just not pressure that you need to endure. You can decide, because you're the one that's created the timeline, you can decide you don't need to lose the 50 pounds in 6 months. You can lose it when you lose it. You don't need to make the 10K months within the first 3 months of your business. You can make it when you make it. Learn to shift your focus to controlling what you can and let go of the rest. Stop trying to believe that you can control the timeline of your life, because you can't. The only thing that you can control is what you can control, and the timeline is not one of them. There is so much that's out of your control when it comes to how quickly or when things will be achieved. Learn to focus on who you need to be and what you need to do every single day that will lead you in the direction of what it is that you want, and let everything else go. Focus on what you can control, okay? The second mindset shift that I would say has really radically changed my life, and it's taken me a really long time to get to a point where I deeply understand this. And I talked a little bit about this on the podcast interview that you will hear on Wednesday with Yolanda for the Join Jessica series. This mindset shift is that the things that you have and achieve outside of you are not what actually make you happy in your life. In the episode on Wednesday, we talk about making more money, because a lot of people believe that when you make more money, you live a happier life, or you just immediately become a happier person. And a lot of women in my audience, and I was one of them, believed that when we get to a smaller weight, or we get to a certain size, or we look a certain way, then we're just going to be happy. And the reality is that is not true. Your happiness does not come from the things that you have in your life. It doesn't even necessarily come from the achievements that you fulfill in your life. It comes from a conscious effort of being in your life and an intentionality that you are going to decide to wake up every single day and choose to be happy, to choose to look at what you have, live a life of gratitude and abundance, to seek out what it is that you want to feel instead of focusing on all of the negative things and the things that aren't working in your life. Working hard towards something makes us feel good. Yes, we thrive when we are creating progress towards a goal, which is why I always recommend have something that you are working towards. You will thrive in your life if you feel like there is purpose and intention in how you are showing up because you're working towards something. Your brain will love that. You will love that for yourself. But we have to let go of the expectation and belief that I'll be happy when fill in the blank, because it's just not true. You have to remember that no matter where you go in your life and what you achieve, you are going with you. The mind and the way that you think and who you are within yourself, you are traveling with you 6 months from now, a year from now, when you achieve the 10K months, when you achieve the 100-pound weight loss, when you achieve the $1 million business, when you achieve whatever goal you have for yourself, financial freedom, when you achieve the new job, the better spouse, the bigger house, when you achieve those things, the you that you are is still going with you. So you have to check yourself while working towards what it is that you want. In terms of strategy, are you also working on who you're being and how you're feeling along the way to getting what you want? Because the only way your life improves in working towards getting things is if you're working on improving yourself and working towards getting those things. A new house in and of itself is not going to make you happy long term. Is it fun in the moment? Sure. Is the celebration nice? Yeah. Is it exciting for the first couple of weeks while everything is fresh and new? Absolutely. But eventually the newness of that is going to wear off, and guess what's left? You in a new house. Same is true for weight loss. You're on a 50-pound or 100-pound weight loss journey. Amazing. Will the celebration when you step on the scale and you're down 50 pounds or 100 pounds be fun? Sure. Will you be excited for a little while about the new clothes that you can wear in your newfound body? Yeah. But guess what's going to be left after all of that wears off? Because it will. It's going to be you in a smaller body. Same is true with your business and making more money in your business. Is it fun to make more money in your business? The celebrations that come with it, the wealth that comes with it? Yes, fun, cool. But your entire life isn't going to change. You're not going to pick up and move to an island. Maybe you will. Not now. But even then, if you move to an island because you get wealthy enough to move to an island, guess who's going to that island with you? You are. You are going to that island with you. We have to be really careful about this belief and staying attached to this idea that it's the things outside of us that are going to make us happy. We often make assumptions. I've talked about this in many podcast episodes. People make assumptions about me all of the time and why I live a happy life because I have, or I've done, or I've achieved. Those things are fun. But at the end of the day, there are a lot of really rich, way more wealthy than me, really successful people, way more successful than me, who wake up every day unfulfilled in their lives and unhappy in their lives because they haven't done the work to find that within themselves. If you want to live a happy life, I'll say it a million times, you have to be the creator of living that happy life. How do you want to feel, and what are the things that make you feel that way? And we have to seek those out on a daily basis. You have to wake up every day and be intentional about seeking out what it is that you want to feel. For so much of my life, I believed happiness would be this thing that I would find and hold on to, and I would just feel it forever. You have to recognize that it's a feeling and emotion just like everything else. If you want to feel happy and positive and abundance and gratitude and vibrant and joyful, you have to seek those things out. Start looking for them. And most importantly, start asking yourself, what are the things that make me happy? How does showing up in my life make me happy? What do I have to do every day to feel happy and proud? What are the things in my life that bring me joy? And on the flip side of that, what are the things in my life that make me feel bad? What are the things in my life that drain me? What are the things in my life that actually suck all of my soul out and make me feel like, ugh, I don't want to do this? If you want to live a happy life, do more of the things that make you happy. And that doesn't mean that everything in your life is going to make you feel excited. Sure, we all have things that we have to do every day that are like super mundane tasks, or maybe even things that we don't necessarily love to do, whether that's around the house or in our relationships or in our jobs. We all have those things. You are not the only one dealing with that. Every single one of us has those things that we're like, I don't want to do that. But we have to learn to find a way to love the life that we are living if we really want to live happy lives. Stop waiting until, stop believing when you get there, stop thinking it's something outside of you, because it's not. It will always and forever be your job to create the way that you feel. Not a partner, not more money, not a more successful business, not a smaller body, not a better house, not a nicer car. And one of the things that I think is really hard about this, and I say this from my own experience because it was hard for me. It was very hard for me to believe this until I started achieving everything that I thought would be the thing that made me happy. And I realized, oh, this isn't the answer. So I know if you're listening right now and you haven't achieved so much of what you want, it's easy to hold on to the belief that those things will make you a happier person. But from my experience and I talked about it a couple times earlier this year, I looked back at my 2021 vision board, everything that I wanted, I've achieved. But those are not the things that make me happy. The things that make me happy are who I'm being every day, how I speak to myself, how I treat myself, the relationships that I choose to have, the conversations that I participate in, what I look at on social media, intentionality in who I'm being. The foundation of your happy life is who you are, okay? And the third and final, and this is probably my favorite, especially in terms of creating massive success in your life. This is probably the biggest perspective shift. Like if I had to go back, if we could rewind this episode and I could say there's one that I want to pick that has been the most profound in changing my life, it might just be this one. Don't quote me because I could change my mind at any given moment. But right now I'm going to say this mindset shift, this realization, this lesson has changed everything about my life. And this mindset shift and perspective is you cannot always allow your feelings to dictate your actions. And if you've been here a while, you've heard me talk about this because I will nail it in until you actually hear it and understand it. You are not always going to feel like doing the things that you said you were going to do. We have to stop assuming and believing that motivation, feeling like it, wanting to, being in the mood, being inspired are a necessary requirement of taking action, because they are not. You do not have to be inspired. You do not have to be motivated. You do not have to be in the mood. You don't have to feel like it. You don't have to be any of those things, and you can still take action. Learn to take action when you don't feel like it. Learn to take action when you're unmotivated. Learn to take action when you're not in the mood. And I will pinky promise you that everything that you want will be yours. But too many of us are allowing the way that we feel in the moment to encourage us to make decisions in terms of how we're going to show up and the way we're going to behave, that we're giving into this short-term temporary desire to just give into what we're feeling, that we're holding ourselves back from showing up the way that we know that we need to in order to create the results that we want in our lives. And I always, whenever I talk about this, I always make sure that I add here that this is not about not holding space for your feelings. This is not about oh my God, I just had the worst day of my whole entire life, and instead of feeling my feelings, I'm going to shove them down and go do something productive. That is not what I'm talking about here, my love. What I am talking about here is, yes, holding space for yourself. Yes, allowing yourself to feel your feelings. Don't neglect them. Don't suppress them. Don't hide from them. But it is about doing what you can to move yourself to a better feeling place so that you don't stay stuck in the negative feelings, so you don't dwell in them, so you don't live there, and so you don't continue to hold yourself back from taking the action that is moving you in the direction of where it is that you want to go. If we want to create success in our lives, we have to create consistency. If we want to create consistency, we have to be willing to take action despite how we feel. And this isn't about the worst days of your life. I'm talking about on the day-to-day when you come home after a long day of work and you don't feel like getting your workout in. Or for instance, for me right now, this is a perfect example. I just shared on Instagram. my Christmas trees are on their way to my doorstep right now. I am so excited. If you heard me talk about it on Instagram or on the podcast, 2 new Christmas trees coming, and I literally cannot wait to decorate them. One is going in my office. I cannot wait to set the vibe in here. One is going in my bedroom. I'm so excited. It is a Friday night. I want to drink some wine. I want to decorate my trees. It's currently 11:30 in the morning. A big part of me is like, let's put a big X through the workday and go out shopping for Christmas tree decor. Do I have the opportunity to do that because I have my own business? Yes, I do. Am I going to do it? Am I going to follow my feelings of saying, fuck work today, let's go get stuff to decorate the Christmas tree? No, I'm not. Because you know why? The tomorrow version of me is going to regret it. The tomorrow version of me is going to be upset that I left all of this stuff that I had planned to do today until tomorrow when I actually already have plans tomorrow. It's thinking about how the future version of you is going to benefit from the decision that you have made. There's nothing, I'm not suppressing any feelings here of wanting to say, like, let's blow this joint and go shopping. But how many of you are giving in to small decisions like that, where your future self is now suffering from the decisions that you have made because you're putting off the things that really matter to do the things that you want to do in the temporary short term, neglecting your workouts to watch Netflix, neglecting your business to go shopping, neglecting your finances and your budget to go browse Amazon. Like, what are the things that you are doing in the short term that are giving you the temporary, like, satisfaction that you're craving, but the future version of you is actually suffering from it? We have to learn to not always allow these, like, impulsive feelings, these urges that we have to say, oh, screw it, or I'm going to go to sleep, or I'm going to skip this, or I'm going to put this off, or I'll deal with it later. We're letting those take over, and then we're not taking action, and then we look back and we wonder, why have I not achieved what I want? Well, it's because every time you didn't feel like doing it, you didn't do it. Every time something more exciting presented itself, you pick something more exciting. Going to Target right now sounds like a much better option. No offense. It's the reality. Going to Target right now sounds like a much better option than sitting here recording a podcast and working. But what am I doing? I'm here doing the things that I said I was going to do because guess what? When it's done and when it's over, I can go shopping. But I'm going to be very happy and proud of myself for doing the things that I said I was going to do, and the future version of me is going to thank me. And if every time I didn't feel like recording a podcast episode, I didn't record it, we wouldn't be here celebrating 200 episodes. You guys, like, I hope that this puts this into context for you. So much of what we do every single day, we're not necessarily always excited or in the mood to do, but we do it anyway. Successful people do it anyway. They show up when they don't feel like showing up. They put in the work when they're not motivated. They sacrifice the short term, give me those good feelings now, for the long-term result that they know that they want big picture. Don't be so focused on this feeling in this moment that you have to give into it, that your future self is now neglected and upset because you've done things in the short term and her dreams are falling to the wayside because you don't feel like doing the work. Learn to show up for yourself and keep your commitments to yourself despite how you are feeling, and your life is going to change. But at the same time, please make sure you're holding space for yourself, coping through your emotions, dealing with the shit that is coming up. You're allowed to have hard days and put things off, of course. But I'm talking about the day in, day out excuses that you are making to not do the work towards what you want. The I'm tired, the it's too late, I'm hungry, I don't feel like it, I'm not motivated, I'm not in the mood. All of those excuses, I need you to crumble them up and throw them in the trash, because the life that you want is not going to be built living on those excuses. The life that you want is not going to be created by every time you don't feel like doing it, you don't do it. The life that you want, the business that you want, the success that you want, it is not created through that kind of behavior. It is created by recognizing you are capable of taking action whether you feel like doing it or not. Okay? So those are probably 3 of my favorite mindset shifts that I have had to really embody in my life and understand on a very deep level to get to this point where I am in my life and in my business. I know that these things can change the way that you show up in your life, the success that you are getting or not getting in your life. It can make a massive improvement on what it is that you're achieving or not achieving. But the hard thing is not just hearing this and listening to it, but in the moment when you're tempted to give in to these old thought patterns and beliefs that you have, these old ways of thinking, are you going to override them with a new way of thinking? It's not just, oh, I heard it, I get it, now it's easy. It's in the moment. Will you override the way you've been thinking with this new way of thinking? If that answer is yes, your success is going to be inevitable. Okay. I love you guys so very much, like with all of my whole entire heart. We are currently in the midst of Black Friday sales, so please make sure you are paying attention to your emails and Instagram if you want to make sure that you don't miss out on any of the beautiful and insane Black Friday deals. Okay. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you for celebrating 200 episodes with me. If you're new here and this is your first ever episode, welcome to the Queen of Pep Talks. It's such an exciting place to be. It is such a big part of who I am. Giving pep talks is just, it's what lights me up. It's in my heart. It's in my soul. I care so much about pouring into you, inspiring you, and empowering you to go out and live your best life. Okay. Again, if you have not already, please leave a rating and review on the Queen of Pep Talks podcast. It is so appreciated. It means the world to me. It's very simple to do, especially on the Apple Podcast app. Just go to the show, make sure that you are following the show so you get updates when we drop new episodes almost every day of the week now, which how cool is that? Scroll down and click the 5th star to leave a 5-star review. And then you can just type in anything that you want to say. I love today's episode. Thank you so much. Jessica is fire. Whatever you want to say. I appreciate your kindness, your words, and you taking the time to share how you feel about the Queen of Pep Talks podcast with me. Okay. I love you guys, and I will talk to you on tomorrow's morning message. Have the best Monday of your life. I'll see you guys.